thought we were gonna chat a little bit before recording. Okay.
We're gonna record it all, and then, well, I can get rid of it when need be.
So this is our second episode of world building. Last week we didn't really do any world building. We kind of talked about some of our world building we've done in the past, and kind of explained tabletop games and kind of what our goals for. So we're making our own game.
Correct.
Our own tabletop game due to wanting to do a campaign that
follows a little bit
of
D&D,
yeah,
but
that has some different rules than what we have seen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably a system out there that it could be run in, but this gives us a good exploration into game design.
Yep.
Which is something we're both interested in.
Do we have a TTRPG on there?
What do you mean?
Like the guy suggested last week?
Yes, we are on the tabletop.
Good. And world building, I assume?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
What
was the other one you did?
I'm not sure if world building was a... World building is a thing.
Yeah.
And we are now tagged for it.
And we're not on TTRPG.
We are. Tabletop RPG.
Oh, yeah, fair, okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
But there's something... So, speaking of tabletop games, there's something I want to show off that I got earlier when we went to the store.
We did go to the store.
So we went to a used bookstore earlier, and
well, used and new.
yeah, they have used and new, but the used part is the big part for me.
It's pretty cool.
I found something that I did not expect to find there, but something that I've been looking for.
Now, how long have you been looking for this?
I wouldn't necessarily say that I've technically been looking for it for a long time, but just something I came across that I thought is cool, and I was like, you know what? I've been wanting this. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Player's Handbook.
Second edition.
Yeah, but second edition. It's a copy from, let's see the year. 87. November 1987. Yeah. It is an old book. But of course I didn't just find that one. I also have a couple other ones that was there. A very used and worn monster manual.
Very used.
Yes, that one was the cheapest book. And the largest book. Because it's been very used. A Dungeon Master's Guide. So I have the core 3 rule books, as well as the Forgotten Realms campaign setting, the Elves of Evermeet, which is a supplement for the Forgotten Realms.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So this tells you all the Forgotten Realms.
Yep. There's the Elves one, but my favorite one and the most expensive one that's going to be out on my coffee table one day.
Interesting.
It's this right here. This is the Encyclopedia Magica, and I got to do more research into this as to what these are. But based on what I can tell and what I've read from it, it's a bunch of magic items for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And this is volume 2. Decay Dust, or Decoy Dust, to Phylactery of Righteousness. So
it does go from D?
Yeah, DU. It goes from DU. Or DE, yeah.
Yeah.
Decay Dust.
Decay Dust?
Decoy Dust.
Decoy Dust.
Decoy Dust. I don't know if the
DECO. Yeah, no. Then Deck of Many Things is before that.
Yeah, I don't know if the Deck of Many Things is something that existed. Like whenever it started existing, if it was something that was in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. But if it is not in that book, which makes me a little sad. But there's a lot of items that aren't in 5th edition, the current edition of Dungeons and Dragons, that are in this book that I can take some inspiration from. And we can take some inspiration from with world building.
Yep.
So what's on screen right now is kind of the document we created last week, which is the goals that we're trying to make in an RPG system.
Like many things came out in 1975.
So it is most definitely in the first edition.
It is in the first edition.
Yeah. And that book also has items from different campaign settings. So I saw some from Greyhawk, some from Spelljammer. Because it does have H, so it's got the Spelljammer helms, which I don't know if you know enough about Spelljammer to know what's the helms. Helms are basically what they use to steer the ships.
We're not very fun.
Yeah. They're like chairs that they
I mean, helms are literally where the drivers go, so yes.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Spelljammer to really talk about it. I've skimmed and read through some of the 5th edition books. But I am in my own campaign, I just introduced Mechagodzilla because my players decided, whenever I gave them an option of adding one creature or object into the game like 2 years ago, they decided on Mechagodzilla, and so I have to add it before the campaign ends. So my Mechagodzilla is going to be driven probably similar to like the Spelljammer helms, from what I understand. That's kind of what I'm going to take inspiration from.
And let me tell you, it has been a wild ride finding that Mechagodzilla.
Okay, technically, so your characters, or one of your characters knew where it was, but they weren't the ones that ended up coming across it later. But
nope.
It's interesting. I just recently split my party for story purposes, where
it was kind of forced purpose.
Yeah. So I got 3 players. 2 of them are in a place where they're getting a bunch of exposition told to them because they're in like a war room trying to learn more about stuff, kind of forced in there. But the other person was not in there, and the stuff that they're being told was played out in a one-shot where they were playing the NPC, so we did last night.
Yeah.
Actually.
We blew up a city.
But your character...
Actually, that's a lie. We blew up a temple.
They blew up a temple. That was the capital of the region.
Yeah.
But,
don't worry about it. Totally fine.
But your character was not down there in that basement with them, so we had to figure out what she was doing for the 14 hours or so that they were discussing this.
Yeah. It's a very long sit-down talk.
Yeah, well, it's a war room discussion. They're about to go to war against,
an entire...
against a dragon army to, try to get a relic back.
Yep.
So, because they're about to go to war, we had to figure out what your character was doing to try to prep for this.
Kind of hanging out.
I thought it was just gonna be like one session. I was gonna do one-on-one. Yeah, you can change the window. Yeah, I thought it was just gonna be one session. I did one-on-one. It turned out to be like a whole mini campaign arc that was like it was either 4 or 5 sessions, right? That we did?
I would say it was, 3 main sessions.
It was 3 main sessions.
The car session does not count.
Yeah, one that was a side where we were just like talking in the car at one point, in order to like get some exposition through. Yeah, I thought it was just gonna be like, oh, we just like sit down and you tell me like who all you're gonna recruit for the war. No, it ended up being at least 3 6-hour sessions plus a little bit of stuff that we were talking about in the car ride one day. So yeah, that's been my experience so far with 1v1 GMing, and it wasn't actually that bad. I thought it was cool.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
To be fair, you were always entertained, and our whole thing about keeping players engaged that we want to strive for, I hope you were engaged the whole time because you were getting all the attention.
Yeah.
So, today, because last week we didn't do much world building, and we mainly talked about the mechanics of RPG games and the concept of world building, kind of what we've already built, as far as races go. Today we want to actually do a little bit of world building for our new world, which is currently called Materia.
Yeah.
Materia, the campaign campaign setting that we're making. A very interesting time period that we're choosing of doing.
Yeah.
We're doing fantasy in the Victorian era, which we were told last week. Our chat box looks like it's a little weird on there.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, I know why, I think.
Why?
Let's see.
Oh, because there's a lot of different chats in there.
Might be because there's multiple chats in there. This is why we fixed this stuff early.
I mean, I can test it really quick. You're not gonna be able to see it right now.
We're gonna test this again really quickly. Apologize for the delay.
Ah, okay, that's better.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Yep. Yes, the problem of implementing things right before stream, we don't really get to test them.
That's okay, though. That one wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Hopefully the new chat box will look a lot nicer and stuff. I have it starting from the top and going down instead of from the bottom and going up, which has annoyed me with my chat box setup on the overlay.
What, that it goes...
That it goes from the
up to
bottom
down?
up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how it used to go.
That's what everybody does.
Yeah, so this one goes from the top down.
Okay.
I think it makes more logical sense. But,
I guess, yeah. But yeah, so this week we are doing characters.
We're making some characters. Materia, Victorian age. We were told last week, which is interesting, something that we've thought about definitely, is that if you do Victorian era, you can implement both like the Jack the Ripper type stuff if you're thinking about England, but also samurai, cowboys, like.
And all these weapons are about to be in here. Oh yeah. And then lastly is gonna be that. Okay. There we go. General gear. There we go. That's gonna bother me.
Just a second. We're gonna scroll. Well, I guess we can't really scroll down yet. We'll fix it where I can scroll down. Yep, there we go. So, yeah.
Easy fix.
We're focusing on character building today, and how do you, just to start off, how do you normally come up with characters for your games?
So to be fair, most of the characters I've made in past games have been from Pathfinder. So I don't normally. I just kind of go with the flow for most things.
Just kind of on the spot come up with things?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
so they're not always the best characters. In fact, most of them kind of suck. But that's why we're doing this now. If we actually go back here to this document, you will see...
And this is our world building document
Yes.
that you've been working on recently. This is what we showed off last week as far as the races go.
Correct. You will see that, like, here we've got a name. Here we've got technically a name. This is more of a...
It's a creature type.
It's a race, yeah.
It's a race, yeah.
You got some more names up here. And then, throughout all of this... so you'll see here I have names as well. So I've already got some people's names.
You don't have the personalities yet, do you?
I do not have their personalities really, except for where is he?
Is it
What city is him?
is it the big guy?
Which big guy?
Like the very popular famous
No. It is in, where is the sub-city?
I'm not sure, you're gonna have to look at that.
But
I mean,
yeah.
you've made characters not from Pathfinder before, like in Mutants and Masterminds. We've done a Mutants and Masterminds game for the past 3
Yeah,
years.
but again, most of that was pretty made up.
Pretty made up on the spot.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in any game you make up stuff on the spot, of course. But
Oh, there it is. Hold on. I mean, keep going.
But I'd say for my games, there's a couple different ways. Of course,
This guy.
I would say one of the most important things you can do as a GM is once characters are made, like once the players make their PCs, and this is us doing characters right now is for NPC more characters than PC characters. One of the most important ways to make NPCs, I think, is by looking at those characters that the players make before the campaign starts, or right near the beginning of the campaign starting, and looking for those backstory characters that they have in their backstories, and implementing those somewhat in your game, because that's one way right off the bat that you're gonna get people involved and like engaged in it because they feel like it pertains to them.
Right. And that part will definitely be happening.
But it can also happen in the reverse way, where where you have characters already in your game, and people decide when they're building their characters or when they start playing their characters that, hey, I know this person, or hey, this is somebody from my backstory, and so that can work off of each other, and they might implement like something in talking about that person. Like they might decide, hey, this person, I didn't like them because of XXX trait, or I did like them because of XXX, which would then influence kind of how you portray them and how that character grows and develops. Because just like the PCs, we want our NPCs, especially the ones important to the story, to also develop over time.
Yep. So one of the things I like in which one is it? Monster of the Week. In Monster of the Week is that all the players have a relationship to
Each other.
the other players. It's not a party of misfits. I mean, it can be, but all those misfits know each other in one way, shape, or form. Now, the crazy thing is, just because you say that your character knows mine from this, doesn't mean my character has that same relationship with you.
Yeah, so my example is my character I made. His name was Blake. He was kind of an emo. He was kind of an emo goth kid with psychic powers. And one of our other characters was playing a Cthulhu-esque figure who was just a squid in a trench coat. A humanoid squid.
It was weird.
Who was trying to pass as a camp counselor, and he was my character's camp counselor. And my character knew him as his camp counselor, but his character knew my character because my character becomes his character in the future.
Yep.
Which is a whole
Super
dynamic
weird.
that we wouldn't have thought of.
Yep.
But
It's kind of interesting.
that's definitely for the PCs. I would recommend that for Dungeons and Dragons or any other tabletop game too. Going through that whole like, how do you know this person? Especially if you're going to make one that's not like we just plucked all these people off from who knows where, and now you're interacting for the first time.
So I'm going to take that one step further, right? And I am going to personally be throwing characters into your backstories that you guys may not be aware of. But then I am also going to, once we get a list of characters, basically say, hey, can you pick, 2, 3, 4 of these guys and
Have them.
like, them.
Yeah, especially if you have a description of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where they're from, what their general mood is. That way, like, does their mood fit with mine? Would their weapons work with me? Like, things like that. So that way you know whether or not you're gonna like them, you're gonna hate them, whether or not you're just pretty neutral to them.
That's fair.
Things like that. So I'm gonna throw it one step further and have y'all have relationships to some of the NPCs.
I think that's a great
that you
idea.
are aware of.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. One of the...
And not even just in the way that you're thinking, where, like, like, for example, your current idea for a character is that you're going to be part of one of the families that rules one of the cities.
Yes, that is which we can get more to in the future.
And so, like, that's a relationship with a NPC. That I will make that NPC, which I think I have the name. I'm not sure. Can't remember. I at least have the family.
We have the family name. I don't know if we have the name exactly. I'd have to go back to, because I also made a note about that. My Google Docs is my note-taking app I use, and I have so many different notes documents about. Or I'll
Google
have
Docs.
Like my campaign. I have like 3 different Google Docs about the campaign setting, about different parts of it, and sometimes I'm like, which document was that in again? I need to get better at that organization.
And so yeah, I'm gonna do that. That way, everybody kind of has a lot of things to go off of.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have y'all all know each other some way, shape, or form. Again, don't necessarily care whether or not you guys have the same relationship back. Probably not, because it's, you know, two-way relationship here.
And I mean, again, we're gonna go back to like this one, you know, player engagement. Something that's it can be awkward at the start of
Pretty much any campaign.
Any campaign is figuring out who your character is, how you're gonna portray them, and how they interact with the world around them, like, and how they. And part of that is like how they interact with the other players at the table. So whenever you start off and you already kind of have little leads to go off of, that can definitely help. Like, oh, well, I know I have a little bickering banter with this person because we're kind of rivals. So I start throwing jabs at them sometimes, and then occasionally that could like lead into, oh, that's kind of how my character is as a whole. Is I'm a little bit sarcastic, and maybe that gets me in trouble sometimes. So that's something my character will have to develop and grow and like learn from.
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna have to scroll down again to see.
Yeah. There we go.
Like, especially like characters that were like GM suggesting a character to be the backstory. In our Mutants and Masterminds campaign, my current character I've been playing, I've only played 2 characters surprisingly for a 3-year game.
I think only one person has had to switch characters.
Who's had a character die?
Two people have had to switch characters.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we've had at least 2 people who have had people die.
I think there's been 3 deaths total.
There's been 4 deaths that I know of off the top of my head.
Runner.
The runner.
Sniper.
The sniper, the dragon guy, and okay, do we want to count the Thunderbolt guy? We'll go more into Masterminds. Alright. In the future too.
Did he die though?
I think he sacrificed himself to
okay, that's fair.
to resurrect his brother.
That's fair. So yeah, technically 4 people.
4 people played by 4 characters played by 2 different people. They just kept getting unlucky. I was not as risky with my character, even though it really doesn't matter, because literally at any point something can happen and your character can die. So it doesn't matter how risky you play it. Honestly, it's like life. I would be sad if somebody just dies of, oh, your character just has a heart attack. Why? It's life.
Why? Because
they had chronic heart disease. I didn't know that. Well, you know.
Alright.
No, not everybody knows. But, yeah, so that character that I'm playing right now, whenever I was making them, I had this, like, idea that, like, I wanted to be somebody who was, an agent in some sort of, like, organization, and then their, family was bad, but they were like trying to get away from that and such. And that was kind of I was an illusionist. And so you were like, cool, here's who your family is, here's who all that is. And I look at it and I recognize the name as one of the big bad evil guys that we had already been fighting. I was like, hey, wait a minute.
But they encountered.
Yeah, I was like, hey, wait a minute,
But there's a reason for it.
Yeah, I mean, it made sense, and I had actually ended up going against my original character idea whenever I started playing it, because I realized that the character I made and the way she interacted with the NPCs wasn't that she was turning against her family, but actually that she loved her family a lot and was trying to redeem them from being evil, which is not. That's how kind of having those character interactions can help build who your character is. So yeah, that's definitely important to have. And I'd say another way I make characters as a GM, and this is just a source of inspiration I have in general for creation, like creating story ideas, creating locations, creating characters, is music. It doesn't matter, like, there are some genres I'm not as big of a rap fan, but there are some rap songs, but like musical theater and like folk music I really like listening to, and just hearing like the story of the song itself, and sometimes little pieces of that story resonate with me, and I'm like, oh, I can make a character with this, and that based on this song. So that's another way I'll get inspiration for characters sometimes. Or I'll hear a song and think about a character I've already made and be like, oh, that tells me more about this character's personality. What's their Blackmore's Night, I think, is the band. It's a folk music. I believe that's the genre that they would be considered.
Fair enough.
But they have a song called Play Minstrel Play that I had heard, and I really like it. It's like about the Pied Piper.
Okay.
I really liked it, and I got this inspiration for a villain character who was this really charming Pied Piper figure who had convinced the town that they were good but were secretly bad, which then turned into one of the leaders in my campaign that I'm running currently, who your character hates, which I called him the Minstrel.
Oh yeah, I hate that dude.
His name's Victor
that dude can go
Balhorn. But yeah, music's another source of inspiration. Something I guess music's not everybody gets inspired by music, but I would recommend trying it out as a source of inspiration, as a muse, as they say.
Yep.
Because I know for me it works, and somebody else it could also work.
Yep.
So what strategy are we using today to come up with characters?
Alright, we're gonna try this a whole different way. So, one of the things that she got for Christmas were a very, very cool, unique set of dice. They're known as the Scrying Stones.
They're DM scenario dice.
So, the main couple we'll be using are these red dice right here, or this red dice.
This red die?
That one will determine the race of our...
Just a second, I'm gonna have one thing.
What?
There's another
Okay. That will determine the race of our characters. So I have written down in the book over here what each one will be. This is the rogue, in case you're wondering.
Okay.
All right. So for purposes of that first section right there.
He's got an additional document we can showcase.
Yes. But you will see Mr. Scar guy here, right? That is our humanoid, so that will be the Nombru.
Okay.
The Elven will be the Duende, obviously. The Dwarven people right here will be the Sverigen.
And we're gonna have to go through, do a little summary of what these races are. We explained them last week, but...
This Goblin is going to be the Peco, because they're the closest thing to a gnome that's on here.
I'm surprised there's not a halfling on there.
Alright. The rogue-looking guy is going to be our Resistor. Whatever these enhanced Nombru are. Whatever those guys are called.
They are the Resastor.
No. They are way down here actually. Duende, Grawl, Zergan. The Parfait.
Which have we decided Parfait is how we're gonna?
I have not yet.
So yeah, and the different
And then, sorry.
Gonna pick up the dice.
Where'd it go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think it fell on the ground.
Did it?
Yeah.
I don't see it. Anyways, if it did, we'll find it in a second. The Dragonborn, right here. This is going to be our Rizdastor because there is not a Goliath on here either.
Let's see it.
I don't think I dropped it.
Oh, well, we'll figure it out.
So, now, a couple of other small rules here. For the elven people, right? We need to determine what type of duende it is.
Yeah, we'll have to determine if it is a,
Which is where this one comes in.
Oh, okay.
So, this is our terrain dice.
So, if you're playing an actual campaign, and you're DMing, these dice are supposed to be used for, like, oh, they're entering a new weather, or a new area, and I'm not sure what the weather's going to be, so roll the weather dice. Or, like, they're meeting somebody, I don't really have, like, a person planned out, roll to see what race this person is.
Correct. So, on here, you will see a couple of things. Desert. Now, the desert is not necessarily great for duende, but for the purposes of duende, desert is going to count as mountains.
Okay.
There is mountains. That is going to count as the mountain duende.
Okay, good. Okay, I was worried.
The one with water here is going to be our Lati.
Okay.
I'm probably going to do the Savannah as the Lati as well. Then we have a forest right here.
Which will be the
forest duende.
Ooh, what are their names?
And then you will see the dead forest. Guess what? The dead forest is also the forest duende.
What? Whoa, what? The dead forest is also the forest?
Yep.
The Kagubatan.
Yeah.
Those are the forest guys.
So, we have those. And then follow the same general rules for the Zvergan.
For the Zvergan, we'll also have some races.
This green dice is going to tell us their job. So what they do. I again have a list over there for you.
We have a list over here which we can refer to more.
So we have a piece of paper, we've got some potions, we've got a crown, there's a sword and axe, anvil, there is some clothes.
So I can read all the different possible jobs if you want me to from the list that you made. So possible jobs we could get are storyteller, adventurer, blacksmith, cultist/religious, lorekeeper, alchemist, barkeeper, guide, shopkeep, cook, leader of something, or musician. Now, an important note of this, and this is the campaign set in like a Victorian fantasy, so it might it's Victorian leaning. It's not necessarily going to follow all the same rules of like technology and advancement as Victorian era. But the reason why we couldn't use Dungeons and Dragons for it
definitely did.
is this is a very low magic world, and you're not really going to find, which there's different editions of Dungeons and Dragons, we realize this, but you're really not going to find many spellcasters in this world, because magic is kind of this very mysterious, very unknown presence. What most people end up using. I do not have the dark forest. But what most people end up using are potions. So we don't have any type of like arcane user, because they're not really somebody that exists in this world.
Correct. Alright, go ahead. Continue. Find it.
So what is the last dice supposed to represent that you're looking for?
So, the dark blue dice that happen to drop somewhere.
You should just use a light for it. Here.
Is going to represent flaws.
Ooh, flaws.
So, we have learned that flaws are fun.
Flaws are fun. I love playing flawed characters.
Because you would think having, unbeatable character who's never scared or never way more fun. It's not.
Like a fearless halfling.
Yeah. It's not nearly as fun as you might think, because that means they're great at everything that they do, and...
So, another way I could say this is if you're good at everything, then you have no room to grow, and thus there's no reason to play a character. And I could say almost a similar thing even for NPCs too. Because, if you're just coming across a NPC who's perfect at everything and is just like, you know, the perfect specimen, then they're not really that interesting. Unless they're useful to you. Really, like, if you think of somebody that's so sickeningly perfect, then you might think like arrogance, which in itself is a flaw.
Yep.
So,
It's just fascinating.
but you can't find the
Yeah.
die?
I had it in my hand because I was holding them all. And then it just dropped and vanished. But you will find it because they're important. Anyways, continue.
But yes, so your characters, should have flaws.
Yes.
Flawed characters.
Um,
Equal good.
And so we're gonna do our best to come up with flaws. And if y'all give us one quick second, we'll be right back, alright? What's the right back?
Yeah.
That one.
Give me just a sec. Give me just a second, guys.
Try to hit transition.
Yeah. I have to fix something on our screen before we can go to us being right back. Okay. We will be right back.
Yes. Alright, sorry about that. Found it. You'll never guess where it was. So my chair has this sticky out leg part. That's where it got stuck. Don't worry about it. It's fine. But I found it. So, blue dice. This is our flaws. As we were saying, having flaws is always good because it kind of gives your character room to improve or to let that flaw take over if the situation deems it. But it allows you to kind of get into character more. And so for me as a GM, I kind of tend to find that a lot of them just kind of end up the same people. And so this will help me avoid that because I will know.
Oh, you found it!
Yeah, it was right here on the
Oh, it was on your,
foot thing.
foot thing.
And so it'll just help me kind of keep characters straight. So, let's really quick just go back here to the goals for the characters, just so that we can explain what we're looking for here. We are looking for 1, the race. 2, the class. That is what this is going to be basically, job/class. Mostly job, for this one. Class, we're just going to kind of discuss it and kind of figure out where we're going to try to put them. Backstory. Backstory is going to be a little bit weird, because that one we're going to mostly just try to figure out and talk it out as we go.
Yeah, so the idea is that everything we're rolling for, and this is kind of a creative exercise. I love Xanathar's Guide to Everything, which is one of the 5e supplement rules. books that has like This Is Your Life is what it's called. It's a bunch of tables that you can roll on to see like all kinds of stuff about your character. Most of them are D100s too, which is fun. Like, how many members of your family do you have? Where were you born at?
Yep.
What class are you? Like, as far as like both job class, and like character class, or like class and society. All this other stuff, like what life events have you had? How old are you? All these different things. And that's what I actually did for my most recent character in the campaign we're about to start. Is I couldn't come up with some good ideas for it because I was making it on the spot, so I was rolling on those tables. So really, rolling the stuff is just an exercise in getting more creativity. Like, this is our inspiration, is what we're getting from here, from these dice. And then the backstory, is mood one of your dice?
Mood is not going to be one of our dice.
So the backstory, the mood, the gear, like all that thing, all those things will be things that we'll take from what we get in the dice and expand upon, and that's the most fun part about it.
So I was just looking at the second pair of dice that you found. So this one is a list of all the types of classes that there are in regular D&D. So honestly, we could use this if we roll adventurer, right? And this will help us kind of figure out what type of adventurer he is. Right.
Now, we don't know we're not going to have exact classes in this system. This is going to be a skill tree based system.
Well, remember, this is NPCs. So the NPCs are going to kind of have a class.
Well, we'll have some sort of specialty, I guess. Yeah. So we could technically call that a class.
Then I noticed these two dice that you have.
The lawful and chaotic.
So, this is good, evil,
and
neutral. This one is neutral, lawful,
and chaotic.
So, what we're going to do is, for each character after we roll their race, and potentially class and job, we are then going to roll these guys. Because guess what? Even bad guys need jobs too.
That's fair. Now, to be fair, this is the alignment system that Dungeons and Dragons uses, and I'm guessing there's a lot of other tabletop games that. Sorry, I had to sneeze. I'm guessing there's a lot of other tabletop games that also use, the whole alignment, that's lawful good to chaotic evil. We talked last week about the alignment system. I'm not sure if we're going to use that exact alignment system in this game. Because of all the different variations of that you can do to make it less black and white. Make it less black and white for characters. But then we can definitely use this to get a read on like their mood.
Yeah, so you know what, that's what I was thinking is, like we could do good, evil, neutral as they're happy, they're angry, or they are pretty indifferent to whatever situation they're in. Then we can use chaotic, lawful, and neutral, the other set. Also kind of to assist with, are they generally a good guy, or like are they gonna follow the rules? Are they not gonna follow the rules?
Yeah.
Or again, do they sometimes follow the rules or not?
We also talked last week about how each of us interprets the good and evil of the alignment system, where your interpretation of the traditional alignment system is that evil equal bad guy, versus my interpretation of it is evil equals selfish person, good equal selfless person, whereas yours is good is they don't want to cause you harm. Neutral is, I don't really care if I harm you or not, one way or another, it doesn't matter. Evil is, I am physically trying to cause you harm at all times. Yeah, versus mine, that good, they look more to the betterment of others over themselves. Neutral is, they're a little selfish, but they also help people. And then evil being that they rarely help people because they're very self-centered and self-focused. Correct. Which is how I've had evil characters in my game before. I would not necessarily do that again. But yeah, I I do think it would be interesting for whatever our alignment system ends up being if we had the players take like a personality test to get their alignment, basically. Like a personality test for their characters, like in-character take, and that's how you found out. Instead of just...
That'd be pretty interesting.
I know sometimes people will just say, I think my character is chaotic neutral, or I think my character is lawful neutral, or chaotic good, and then they play it and they're like, actually, you know what? That character is acting a little like this way instead of what you're like. For a character that you said is lawful good, you're doing a lot of chaotic stuff versus like I had a lawful evil character. The player played them as very chaotic good, and I'm like, if you
Who's that? The dragon?
Yeah, it was the dragon guy. And I was like, if you don't start doing some stuff to earn your alignment, I'm gonna change it. Because like if you're playing against your alignment, then just change your alignment. I know alignment mechanically did a lot more in past editions. I'm not as familiar with Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, but I'm gonna be researching it because I have the books now and I can read into it. And I'm pretty sure alignment, that's one of the books that alignment does play a part in, where like paladins can only be lawful good and such, or can only be lawful, whereas like Incarnate Edition, lawful, chaotic, neutral, good, evil, they're more of just flavor text fluff. It doesn't really affect actual gameplay mechanics. Which I would kind of like to keep. I really don't think that alignment should affect. Like I'm with current 5th edition as far as like you don't have a strength cap because you are a female elf. Female elves have a strength cap of, I think it was 14 or 15. No, it might have been 15. I'll have to go back and check. Where it's like, I don't want to play a female elf. I'm not going to be that. Or like certain races, like you can't be a ranger in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons if you're playing an elf. So all of your Legolas streams, or you're gonna have to play a half elf instead. Which that was before. Well, that was after the Lord of the Rings books, obviously, but before like the very popular movies. Because of course the Dungeons and Dragons does take inspiration from Lord of the Rings, which then makes me question more as to why we can't have an elf ranger. Like why the score things were added in the rules to prevent that and such.
Yep.
So how many characters are we looking at making today?
Well, we are about to start making our first, and we are gonna go until
Until what time? What time we're kind of looking at?
probably 10.
About 10? Okay.
Nope, not straight. Backstory. Alright, there we go.
I would honestly keep a template version of this and then just copy and paste for each one.
That's exactly what I'm about to do.
Yep. Oh, and to make their names too. So, each, and we'll put their names. Yeah, I guess you already have a thing for their name.
Yep.
That's gonna get confusing. We'll probably have to.
Why?
We'll like to. Maybe we should put a page break after.
That's something I can do.
Yeah,
Like,
after.
so right here.
right there,
Insert. You can do a horizontal line.
You can also do that. Do a page break right there.
Break. Page break. Ah, smart.
Yeah. And then I do one before
In
the
that
name.
case, we're getting rid of this.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I do one before the name right there.
Why?
So that way it's on its own page.
That's fair. Insert. I think it's Control Enter. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
can do this as we're going for the later ones.
That's fair.
But each of the races we discussed last week how they were based on a different language. So the Nombru are based on French versus the Zwergen, which are based on German. So I really think we should take the names from those languages too. Now we're also gonna butcher. The only thing I might be able to pronounce with confidence is Spanish.
Yeah.
As someone who is not fluent in Spanish by any means, but can understand a good amount of stuff because I've taken classes in Spanish all my life.
And she's been doing Duolingo.
I have a 500-something day streak. Pretty fancy. I haven't just done Spanish though, Duolingo. I've kind of dipped my toes in a couple different languages. That's probably not the most efficient way to work the Duolingo.
Definitely not.
But like I want to try stuff out sometimes. I'm like, okay, I kind of want to try out High Valarian.
All right. Anyways.
Or Latin and Gaelic are the other ones I've made a lot more progress in.
Yeah.
But Spanish is by far like my big one that I've done a lot in.
Yep.
Okay, so
Hit us up.
Okay, so what's the first one we're gonna use?
You always use the red one first.
So we're gonna
gotta figure out the race.
Let's figure out what race.
And honestly,
first guy's gonna be.
we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 of them. If you want to roll 6, we can roll 6.
I think we should do one at a time.
Okay.
I think we should focus on each one at a time.
Okay. Hit me up.
So race. Who's our first guy gonna be? And we'll mention areas too as we're building these that you've already made, or we might create areas on the spot too.
Correct.
If they
so deemed fit. I'm gonna laugh hysterically if the first one is a Rosastor, because I have nothing about Rosastor right now.
That looks like a human.
Oh, good. That is a Nombru.
That's a Nombru, who is our human.
Yes.
Which is who you got the most written for.
That is so good, because I have most of their cities right now.
Do we want to roll all of our dice first for the characters?
For the stuff that we have right now, yes.
Okay.
So next up is class. That is going to be that green one.
Okay.
What do we got?
That looks like a adventurer.
That is an adventurer. Of course.
Oh, nice. So we get to start off with a basic guy.
All right.
Human fighter.
Golly. All right.
Job. Okay.
Yep.
Job die. That's not the job die.
Job die is actually that one. Sorry. Job is the adventurer.
Oh yeah, Job is their adventurer. Their class is
We haven't figured that out yet. Because that's gonna be like high class, middle class.
Oh, their class
in
society.
Yes.
Okay.
That is gonna be societal class.
Societal class. Okay, cool.
All right. So next up, let's do. Honestly, let's go.
Are we sure it wasn't this one?
That's true. We did say that.
We
All
didn't
right.
have the character class.
You're right. My bad.
Well, their job's an adventure.
Oh yeah, job is adventure.
Yeah.
What's their class?
What kind of adventure would they be? Freaking paladin.
Of course they are. So they are gonna be.
He's a holy knight.
So this is gonna be a healing fighter.
Or a holy knight, I would say. It could be a. Technically, we don't know a whole ton about the religious.
Correct.
Entities in this world.
Exactly. So currently there are 3 religious entities.
But we don't really know how people worship them.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying currently it is a healing fighter.
Okay. We can talk more about this too after we finish rolling the dice for him.
Yes.
And we'll figure out.
Mainly because this right here is going to be the D&D version, but due to our class tree, this is a general
description, and then we can talk more about how they're gonna.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. General move. Right now, I'm picturing a super like paragon.
Oh, I can guarantee you he's gonna be an evil dude right now.
Paragon. Let's see.
You're about to pick evil.
True neutral.
Oh god. All right.
2 neutrals. How do you get a A combat medic who helps both sides. Okay.
Alright, so, go ahead and roll that location dice for me.
Location dice.
Yep. This is gonna be where you're most likely going to find whoever this is. And he is in... He is by the lake.
That's a lake. The way this dice looks, it's got, like, not all of them are clear to see right off the bat. You gotta kind of pay a little bit more attention.
And yes, it is kind of rough, especially when it's like this one right here. That one. Because if you turn it this way, it looks like absolutely nothing. So you have to hold it in a specific direction to see that it's like sand dunes.
But the book it comes with has pictures of them, so you know.
All right, let's go ahead and roll that dark blue.
Dark blue, which
and
that's their flaw, right?
This one we are going to roll twice actually.
Oh,
we're gonna roll one for
two.
we're gonna roll for the flaw and we're gonna roll for the strength.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see.
So what is the flaw? And the flaw and the strength cannot be the same. So if you roll two of the same, you cannot. The second one will get re-rolled.
Are we sure?
Yes. Because you can't love gossip and then hold secrets.
So you could though. You get hypocrite.
No.
Well, because sometimes people's greatest strength is their flaw.
I refuse.
Okay. Well, that looks like the gossip one, right?
Yep, that is gossip.
Gossip, that's his flaw. Oh, this combat.
Oh man, this guy is weird.
Loves gossip. Okay.
All right.
I did exactly what he said.
All right. Nope. Leave it.
Okay.
It's meant to be. Strength would be.
Well, his strength might be he is very charismatic.
Secrets. Well. All right.
Oh, maybe he loves gossip, and because of that, he seeks out secrets, but he holds them well.
Yes. All right. And technically, we could use this as a treasure. Do it. What's his treasure? It is going to be that is a like a staff, right?
Let's see what it says in our book.
What is that one?
That is a magical implement.
All right.
So there's no magic in this world.
So this is going to be
I would say
enhancing. I don't.
and we can discuss how that'll work in this world with little.
There we go.
Potion enhancing.
Potion enhancing item. From a crafter.
Yes.
From a crafter. There we go. Look at this. So we have a Namru person, a paladin, if you will, or a healing fighter. He is an adventurer, obviously. Now, to be fair, we could have. I guess technically we could have paladins that in the future are not adventurers or ex-adventurers, if we will.
Fair.
He is generally neutral to pretty much everything. He understands that war is war and it's not necessarily great. It's not bad sometimes. Because he understands that if you don't put down the evil, then it's gonna take over and then it will be bad. But it's not great because people lose people. So
I would say our guy right here. We don't have a name for him yet, but we can figure out his name.
and we say guy, but
Our
gender.
non-brew. Actually, that's fair. We didn't roll. Do we want to roll for gender?
We don't have anything for gender.
We do. Even the odds.
Okay. Let's do.
Honestly, this is a guy though.
Why?
I feel like this is a guy.
No, we're doing this. Evens are gonna be girls, odds are gonna be guys.
Oh, it's
Evens
a girl.
it is a girl. And then here, heading 2 is gonna be gender. There we go.
This is a female.
Female. All right, so female Nambu, healing fighter.
Is an adventurer.
Is or was an adventurer. That will be determined by backstory as we go.
I think they are.
Currently are? Okay.
Yeah.
Their general mood again is pretty neutral to everything. One of their, we're gonna say, special meaning gear is what this is.
Okay.
So this is gonna be a piece of gear that they have on them that has special meaning to them for some reason, one way or another. Theirs is they have potion enhancing items from a crafter. Which honestly makes a lot of sense considering they are a healing fighter.
Yeah, I have some ideas for this.
Where you are most likely going to find whoever this is going to be by a lake or by, we'll just do this instead, by a body
of
water. They're a flaw. They love hearing gossip. You start telling them gossip, they will talk. However, the one thing they are really good at is they will not tell secrets to people.
Okay, so our person,
Or it will be hard to get them to tell you a secret.
our Nambu person is a healing fighter. I feel like that could mean several different things, but in the case of this person, I feel like this means that they are a combat medic and that they seek out war zones, because this world of materia, this setting, there is some big wars that are going on. So I would say they seek out, they're not conscripted in any army, but they
Correct.
seek out,
I feel like they might have been at one point.
potentially, we can build upon that. But currently, I feel like they seek out these war zones because they like helping people. But they also like gossip. They actually are kind of seeking out these helping people with their potions. Will also be able to hold their own if somebody comes after them. But I think that they really are seeking these out because they just love that gossip. They want to know what's happening in this war, right? And they want to know from both sides too. They really don't know what side they're on.
There we go. That's all.
They really don't know what side they're on because they're like, you know, this cabal figure who everybody's saying is evil, that has this really weird energy power. They
cool,
seem kind of cool though, so I kind of just want to learn more about this. However, this gossip that they hear, they're not going to tell anybody, which means they might have been sought out at one point by one of the armies to become a spy or to get information.
So it's very possible that, so what I was thinking is, because they have this uncanny ability to go find gossip and then hold on to it, they are honestly a very dangerous person, right? Because any adventurers that come and talk to them, right, the person will know stuff about them. So they will have knowledge on you. They will, they have so much leverage before you even meet them that when you meet them, you're going to be like, wait a minute. I don't know if I like this person.
And I think they get most of their gossip in as they're helping helpless people, basically. And that whole, trying to comfort them is actually kind of malicious in that they're learning your secrets. But they're not going to do anything with those secrets. And I feel like their neutral mood makes them very, they don't want to tell any side anything. This is all for their personal repertoire of knowledge. So if the good side, the bad side, whichever one seeks them out for information, they're not going to spill a word.
You have to try really hard to get this person to spill anything. So it's not just going to be walking in, giving them, 30 gold and being like, hey, can you give me this information? They're going to be like, no.
I think this person was taken by one of these armies in the past. Which one do you think they were taken by? And do we want to roll and see if it's the good or the evil one?
You know what? Do evil or good. I feel like that's a good way to do this.
I feel like they were taken taken by one and potentially tortured for information.
Smart.
So, which side was the one that did this?
Gonna find out.
Good.
Ooh. All right.
So,
Huh.
the good guys
All right.
are the ones.
Do me a favor. Roll
Which race? Which
race took this person? Holy crap.
This is
This
Vergan.
Vergan took him. Okay, I could see that.
So the
All right.
Vergan being the dwarfs.
All right, we need a name. Nambru is French. So
Number's
this
French.
is going to
Let me
be
look up a French name
a
generator.
French female name. That's what we're looking for. Are you using whatchamacallit?
I'm using Fantasy Name Generator.
Yeah. So we have this site that we use. It's Fantasy Name Generator.
I would highly recommend it to come up with names for places, locations, metals.
Yep.
They have a whole for Dungeons and Dragons, like per race, per gender. They even have gender neutral ones. If you're making a character who's kind of in the middle of that spectrum. Let's see. So we're looking for French names. So it also has real world names too in it, and it's got last names, which is really cool. So we're looking for a French name for this
They
one.
have Marty in here.
Let's see. The mobile version's a little strange, which is what I'm trying to navigate to find it. And if we do exercise again like this in the future, which we probably will, we'll probably have Fantasy Name Generator ready to go.
I mean,
on
I
the
could
screen.
literally just do it right now.
I know, but
You want me to? It'll be easier.
yeah, we can
Alright.
do this for what. So we're gonna take the
Video capture. There we go. Perfect.
we're gonna remove the picture just so we can search for it and everything.
Yep.
Get it on the screen.
Can I turn this one?
Yeah, you can go from that one.
Okay. Let's see. Do this, and we're gonna do this one, and we're gonna do
French.
Faroese. All right.
Okay, let's
There
get
we
back
go.
on the screen.
All right. Hit me.
There we go.
Nailed it.
Okay, we're gonna scroll down a little bit. The way we have it cropped makes it a little weird, but
That's
you
fine.
can see the names on there.
Yeah, you can see the names. Currently, I believe it just kind of auto goes to male,
yeah.
because that's the first one on the thing.
So let's
Here we go.
go some female names. So we're gonna pick from this list. Let's
Give me can you roll d6? 4. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. This is our list of names that we get to choose from. So right off the bat, I kind of like Lori, Giselle, or Noelle.
I was gonna say I like Janine.
Or Janine. Okay.
Piscali.
Or Pascale. Yes, those were the ones that I had.
I'm thinking Lori.
Lori.
I'm gonna
Alright.
use a Lori.
Alright, so let's do Lori here. I'm gonna do Lori and then
Do we wanna go again for the last names?
yeah. Do it again.
Do this 5
5.
times.
Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, here we go. I like Hollande or Vazir or Demerit.
Barnier.
Which one?
The top one.
The top one? I'm okay with the top one. That or Vanier even.
Where's Barnier?
It's like middle.
Oh, yeah. So Lori, Vassar.
Vassar or you know what? Let's do either Barnier, Vasir or Vanir. Is that fine?
Yeah.
All right. So roll me that one. 1 and 2 is the first one.
That's the first one.
Barnier.
That was a 2.
All right. There we go. We got Lori Barnier. All right. Backstory. Here we go.
Scroll down just a little bit so we can have this on the screen.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right. Guys, bear with me. I am terrible at typing, but I'm relatively fast at it. So, Lori was is she?
Lori is.
So is she currently captured? Or did she escaped? Right.
We don't know if she escaped. She might be. So she's at the lake. So which Dwende or which Svergen lived by the lake?
Lottie.
No, the Svergen.
Oh, Svergen? None of them.
So, what would that equivalent be for
for the lake,
So we have the desert ones, the cave ones, or the...
So, because, so, on this dice, the savannah and...
The desert would probably... Or do we have a desert one on there?
Yeah,
right.
we do. So I think the savannah and the mountain are gonna be...
we have mountain guys.
That's fair. The savannah and... Do the savannah and the live forest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or no, savannah and the dead forest as, actually, you know what? Do the savannah as a group of them that actually live in, like, non-brew cities. That have lost that trait. Because remember we said that they could do that?
We did say that.
The mountains are going to be in the tundra,
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying. The desert, we are also going, or the desert that we're going to use is the desert. I think, honestly, unless it's mountain or desert, I think we're going to live kind of in a, no. And let's do the dead forest as the tundra.
The tundra?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Do we want to re-roll, or do we want to say that the ones that did that because we got lake before are
Human kingdom?
Human kingdom?
Reroll right now. Yeah.
Or not non-bruiser, yeah.
Of course they're the Grawl.
Oh, they were captured by the Grawl. That's interesting.
That
So
is incredibly
the
interesting.
Grawl are these cave-dwelling guys who are incredibly nice.
And freaking blind at daytime.
And
So they
blind.
took her at night.
I don't know. Do we
But-
want to go with that, or do we
Uh-huh.
want to...
Because, so this is also going to help me kind of set up where they live, like where the person can be found, right? So that means somewhere on my map, right, there is going to be a cave, a mountain cave system that has either a lake on it, like a large enough lake that Lottie would consider living there, a lake nearby at the bottom that the Lottie would consider living near, or where this person would call home. So it means that there is a body of water, one way or another, by this mountain.
Okay, so...
So this is gonna help me also create a
terrain.
map
Yeah.
of my world.
So... I would say Lori is still being held by these guys.
Okay, is currently being held by the Grawl.
Yeah.
Is it one of those where at this point is she more willing to be with them because the Grawl unfortunately would not torture her. They don't necessarily care that much, but they don't necessarily want her information getting out to the world.
I think she's kind of stuck there too.
Okay.
Because
so
she's kind of stuck in the mountain system.
Is this like a Snow White and the Seven Grawl story? Is that what's going on?
I think so.
Okay.
I think they initially kind of lured her there to get some secrets from her. Because her thing is she likes gossip.
Yeah.
By them spreading this information that, oh yeah, these Grawl in the mountain, they have, or potentially another part of the good aligned people didn't want want her out there because they were afraid that she was going to spread their secrets to these evil people. So they're like, you know, the mountains where the Grawl are like really cool and you should totally check those out. And she's like, okay, cool. Well, there's probably people to help there and learn from. And so she ended up there around these Grawl and couldn't figure out how to get out at that point. And the Grawl kind of like her because she is the Snow White person. She helps care for them and stuff and fight off bad things. And she kind of wants to leave and learn more gossip, and it's kind of torture for her.
Yeah.
But she really doesn't know how to leave because this is a very intricate cave system, and at this point she's almost given up leaving. So potentially the party could get a quest at some point that's like, hey, our medic's been missing for a while. Last place she went was this mountain, and honestly, we don't really care to get her back, except that she might have this knowledge about the enemy that we could really use. So, okay.
How do you spell plight? Is it P-L-I-G-H-T? I think it's that. Plight.
So something else we should keep in mind too is we can be creating characters for the campaign's going to be split into 2 different sections: the during the war and after the war. I think this is a during the war character. I think this is a character that this right here is happening during the war, and whatever happened to her after the war is yet to be determined.
Yeah, she very much enjoys gathering stories. Gathering stories from
Now, we didn't talk about her item yet.
Correct.
I think she's got a some sort of either gun or gauntlet type thing that she can put potions in order to release the potions in that weapon, because she's both a fighter and a healer.
That's fair.
I'm thinking a gauntlet type.
So I was thinking, hear me out, because I do like that one. But what if she had a sword, gauntlets, whatever she uses to fight, but because she wants to help people, right, and get them sort of recovered, right? What if she had like a potion that she was able to fire like an AoE type healing potion, so she could turn a single healing potion into a less effective version, but for a lot of people, so that she could help more people and gather more gossip.
Do we want to say that she has a gun that is an AoE potion gun?
She's got a shotgun?
She's got a potion-powered shotgun.
Nailed it.
That can either have healing potions or harming potions added into it. Now, the only problem with that is if you're doing AoE type stuff, you're not really getting close to people to heal them, and that's kind of her whole thing of getting gossip, is she wants to get close to people.
Yes, so because she's a combat medic, she's going to go out and her version of combat medic is I'm able to make sure I don't die. Like, so she is very good at defensive combat.
Mm-hmm.
So she can hold her own against somebody with a sword, or being able to dodge, right? As far as physically fighting something, she probably doesn't want to do it too often, because that means she may die, and that means she doesn't get any gossip anymore. So she will run in long enough to be able to pull somebody out. So her version of combat is defensive combat. Her version of medic is get them up just enough that they can help themselves with your assistance, so that you can get them back somewhere else and get the gossip there as you're helping them recover.
Helping them recover fully.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think the AoE potion gun is a nice item, and that's definitely something we can think of, like, for crafters to build in general. In
combat, Lori was quite effective at dealing.
You're gonna do at instead of
At dealing damage to enemies that were surrounding these wounded soldiers. There we go. Soldiers healed up. You have to be talking. Healed up.
Oh, I'm looking to see what you're typing first.
Enough to for them to assist themselves off the battlefield with her assistance. There we go. So yeah, that this is currently what we have.
I put on there too, because our whole thing, that while she, no, I can take that.
Yeah.
Is that while she enjoyed gossip and learning secrets, she never told a soul what she gathered. Much to the annoyance of everyone else.
Nice. Well, hang on. Actually, yeah, we can do that. One day.
Whoa.
Wow. Oh, that's right, because this is part of
Part of the heading.
the heading.
Oh, I got it.
Do this. There we go. Text. I'm gonna go up to 16. There we go.
Oh, and we gotta make sure the backstory
Why
thing's
did
up.
you not stay? Sorry. There we go. Okay. Stop.
I got it. I got it. Good thing is, this is our first one.
F11 to.
I know.
Okay. Okay. There we go. Neat.
Here we go.
Alright. There we go. Okay. One day, while there was a lull, or one evening, while there was a lull in the fighting, a small band of Brawl ventured down to her home, which was a small cottage, small cabin, on the lower part of the mountains. Backyard. What's up?
I'm just scrolling
Ah.
down.
From her backyard, and typically assisted in protecting her from attacks from above. Is the system. There
So,
we go.
okay. Reading what you have written, so
Yes.
it in this version that you had written,
Mhm.
you're writing, it sounds like she was kidnapped versus going somewhere on her own accord based on her flaw and getting trapped.
Yeah.
So, is that what we want to go with, or do we want to have her venture out into this and then just kind of get stuck?
For right now, we're gonna leave it like this. We're gonna figure out what we're doing after that.
Okay.
These are rough backstories, by the way.
I was gonna say if we have her going there and getting stuff,
Yeah.
we can rewrite that entirely different.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what
This is just the first thing that's popping into my head
that
as
is.
we're writing.
What
so.
this is, what it's giving me vibes of, based on how you're writing it, is a Hades Persephone thing, where she's getting taken, because somebody wants her, but you're also taking away a little bit of agency from the character.
Why?
In that way, of her getting taken versus going on her own accord.
What's the agency?
Well, that she would be venturing out there on her own, and thus her getting stuck is her fault versus her getting taken, and then it really, she plays no part in it.
We can make that. We can make that the case. All right.
Okay.
These girls were hired by a small battalion of
By the way, hello to our viewers.
Umbrus soldiers.
We are
Umbrus
working
soldiers
on
that
creating NPCs for our new
assisted.
campaign
They had found
based on dice rolls. That we're
that
taking tables and referencing them to get like race and class and all that stuff, and then we're making their backstory based on what we're coming up with the information we're given. So we have already rolled for this is our first character we're doing like this of the night, and we have already rolled for her her stats, and right now we're writing her backstory.
Yes.
Right now you're writing her backstory.
Yes, that is correct. That she would eventually get captured by the forces of Leave Cabal. There we go.
So this character, the first character, is a combat medic who is very gossipy and is only a combat medic because she likes gossip. She's not aligned to any side in the war, good or evil, but just kind of is a vigilante healer.
Yep.
Who is only going to help people to get gossip because she likes gossip. However, she does not tell gossip to anybody else that she gathers. Therefore, a lot of people want her to try to get that information from her. What we have determined is that during the war, one group, the Grawl, who are like these mountain dwarves, cave dwarves, succeeded in capturing her. And whenever the party comes across her, that she will be within the mountain system, unable to escape.
What? Music too loud?
Is that better?
Cool.
As far as music
It's
goes?
definitely quieter on my end, so. Dang it, where was I? Told them back in about many stories of other. Hey. Other. Skargan would be shared with her. And they intricate cave system. There. Now she's not going captured-wise. That took her... Were informed to keep her safe from Cabal and the forces of darkness. There we go. Alright.
Okay.
Nailed it.
So
That's quite the backstory already.
We want to read her backstory from the beginning?
Sure. Would you like to?
Sure. Lori was a combat medic during the Second War against Cabal because the campaign's first half takes place during the Second War against Cabal.
Correct.
Cabal being the big bad evil guy.
BBEG.
Yeah, the Warlock of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
She was quite neutral to the whole plight of Cabal. She very much enjoys gathering stories from folks that she has been helping recover from grievous wounds. In combat, Lori was quite effective at dealing damage to enemies that were surrounding these wounded soldiers, while also being just as effective to get the soldiers healed up enough for them to assist themselves off the battlefield with her assistance, because she has an AoE rifle.
Healing gun.
Shotgun. An AoE healing shotgun that she can put potions in of both healing and harming.
Yep.
Let's see. While she enjoyed gossip and learning secrets, she never told a soul what she gathered, much to the annoyance of everyone else. One evening, while there was a lull in fighting, a small band of Grawl, who are our mountain dwarves, they're the little guys with the pointy noses that they echolocate and the long tongues that they eat bugs with, ventured down to her home, which was a small cabin on the lower part of the mountains, with a flowing river that broke from her backyard and typically assisted in protecting her from attacks from above.
Above, not meaning like literally above her, but from the upper mountain to her cabin.
These Grawl used the trees nearby along with their metal tools to breach this natural barrier around her house. They told her that back in the mountains, many stories of the other Zvergan would be shared with her, and they fled back into their intricate cave system. These Grawl were hired by a small battalion of Nombru soldiers, Nombru being the human, she is also a Nombru, that had recently assisted and... That she had recently assisted, and they had found a well-hidden notebook she had. With the information she had written in that notebook, they worried that she would eventually get captured by the forces of Cabal. These soldiers told the Grawl forces that took her...
Told the Grawl forces that took her.
Were informed. Told the Growler...
That took
Grawl
her.
forces...
Wait, hang on. Yeah, there you go. Soldiers told the Grawl forces that took her. Here, we'll do this right here. There we go.
That took her to keep her safe from Cabal and the forces of darkness.
There we go. So, that is the story of Lori currently, guys.
And so if we...
This could very quickly get changed, but as of right now, it's a good starting point for Lori. It's an NPC. They shouldn't have 7-page backstories. Just saying. What are you looking for?
Because they didn't take her.
Well, they took her back.
Did
that
she...
escorted her?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Well,
to be fair, nobody's gonna know that they didn't take her. Everybody's gonna think that they took her. Retreated.
And then went back. And then went back to their intricate cave system with her, and we can reword that. But
all right.
because you didn't actually have in there that she left to go to the cave system.
That's fair. So yeah, that is Lori Barnier, the female paladin adventurer, who was neutral to pretty much anything. This is AoE, shotgun of healing.
Oh, it's not just. I would say AoE. I would say AoE potion shotgun, because any potion you put in it would be
AoE potion shotgun. That's great. All right.
So that makes me think of in his Dungeons and Dragons campaign, there was a time where we were having to do a heist. What were we doing a heist of?
Which one?
Your Dungeons and Dragons campaign. We were doing a heist at one point.
You guys
we're going to a mountain.
You guys were, huh?
We're going to a mountain to get something.
Yeah, you guys were heisting your own house. You were heisting Locke's house.
Yes, we were heisting. We were heisting
in the past.
We had weird timey-wimey stuff. Ended up in the past, and we're heisting a dragon horde. In the past.
Holy crap. Okay.
Yeah, and we're heisting a dragon horde in the past. I'm sorry if the audio's been illegible for the stream.
We'll see.
We'll see the recording. I apologize.
Look, it's this or us having to reset the music every hour.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well. It's only rough because we're not monitoring the mic right now.
Yeah.
In order to not have a relay, because I'm still figuring out the settings for that. So,
Anyways.
Yes. But we went and did a heist, and thus we were trying to recruit people, from a tavern, and most of the people had actual names. But they were named based on their
traits.
Their traits,
yeah.
like if they're a ranger, if they're a bard. So we had one, and her name was the AoE sorceress.
Yeah.
And she ended up not getting an actual name, and her name was just AoE.
Her name just became AoE.
Like AoE.
AoE.
So, and then in the future, she had a granddaughter, which was AoE the third.
Yeah.
So whenever I see AoE weapon, I think of AoE. AoE sorceress.
Yep. Alright,
okay.
Do I get to roll this one?
Yeah, if you want to roll this.
Yeah! Here, I will let you type this
Okay.
one. Alright, so here we go. We're gonna start with the race. You want me to move the mouse?
I got the mouse.
Okay. Well, wrong one. That's name.
Oh, well, I got it.
There we go. Alright, so we're gonna do name first, or race first. Alright, here we go. Ooh,
What is the
that is the Rizza store.
Ah.
You get the hard one. No, wait, it's not the Rizza store. It's, oh no! You get, and it's R-I, by the way, I screwed up the spelling. So hold on, give me 1 second. You get the parfait.
Parfait,
yeah, that's who you get. Cool.
You know
Alright,
what's funny?
so there you go.
I was...
What? No, that's adventurer. This is great.
I didn't know what they're called. Like, how to...
P-A-R-F-A-I-T-E.
I'm just gonna find them and copy and paste it. Parfait.
Well, that's gonna post it as a heading.
I'll fix it.
Actually, no, because you can do it just as the word, right?
Yeah, but Windows wants to make it rough.
That's fair.
Okay, this is a parfait,
Again,
which
no,
is...
I don't want this to...
No,
that's
this whole
fine.
thing
Okay.
is a heading right now. We gotta
Class is...
Yeah, let me go ahead and give you all these dice. So that way
Yes, please.
You can have them on your side.
Yes, please. All right. So the next one was the green dice, right? The job.
Yep, the job.
All
What
right.
is our parfait? Parfait being super soldier.
I'm gonna laugh hysterically if this is
freaking
anything
adventurer.
other than an adventurer. Ooh, they are an alchemist. Which technically is a fighting class
Okay.
in some cases.
They're an alchemist, which is their job.
Yeah.
What is their class, though?
Their class. Which one did we do for that?
The actual class die. It's on this.
This one, right?
It's the paladin.
All right, here we go. This is gonna be great. This better be a sorcerer, wizard, or warlock or something. It is a sorcerer. Okay,
so,
cool.
We gotta figure out what sorcerer means in the context of this world.
They are innately good at brewing potions. In this case,
maybe they were created. This is a form of parfait that were created to have this enhanced
alchemist brewing ability.
Well, this enhanced tie to the materia.
Okay.
So,
I'm down for that.
Innately
tied to materia.
Materia being the magic source that kind of flows in things.
The general mood, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is this gonna be a parfait that turned evil?
It's a good.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah,
they
this
are
is neutral evil.
They are neutral evil. So they are, in this case, they are going to basically want to cause physical harm.
Are they an alchemist who is a sorcerer in part because Cabal took them and is like, look, all of you parfait are just humans who they added more materia to.
Cabal corrupted this dude's materia.
They're not a warlock because Cabal's not giving them power. Maybe Cabal just came in and said, you know what, your people have been lying to you, this is what you're doing.
Yep.
And then left him to his own accords. He's neutral, he doesn't necessarily follow anything. So on his own, he has decided that, you know what? I'm just going to make bad stuff. Like, I'm going to make stuff against the
Nombreux.
The Nombreux.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be funny.
Potentially even making potions and tricking the Nombreux into using them.
Alright, here we go. What item does this man have?
Or girl.
Or girl.
Do we want to roll for their gender next?
They have the sword and dagger, so they are going.
A weapon?
They are going to have a specialized weapon.
Ooh, maybe they. Sword and dagger?
Mm-hmm.
That's junk.
Oh, not in this case. It's not. Well, actually, yeah. Let's do junk then. So, general gear is just going to be junk. So they're not really all that cool.
Well, junk. Maybe they're making something out of junk. Maybe their whole thing is they took a junk item and made it cool.
Oh, that's fair.
Like something that the Nombreux had thrown out.
That's fair. This could be something that, like, this is one of his cool traits, is that he can just take junk and turn them into
good things.
Yeah. All right. Where are we gonna find this dude or girl? They are in
the forest.
Yeah, the dead forest.
Which makes sense because they're
yeah.
They were corrupted by Cabal. What is their flaw?
All right, their flaw is that
they're missing a limb.
They are missing a limb. Most likely an arm, if I have to guess.
I got an idea of how this could come into play.
And strength.
Give me a second out.
All right, strength is.
They're a good cook.
They are also great at cooking. So this is going to be an alchemist cook is what I'm figuring out from this.
I'm just picturing a witch that lives in the forest.
More or less.
But let's roll for their what gender they are. Is this a guy or a girl that we're referring to?
Evens was
Evens was girls,
Evens
also
was girls,
guys.
Yeah. Alright.
This is a guy. So we're gonna go back to our Parfait's also going to have the French names. So
alright.
Roll to how many times we're gonna go through.
Five times.
2, 3, 4. I've already done the first one, so.
Okay. So for this name, honestly, I
like Clovis.
So I was actually gonna say Edward.
Where's Edward?
It's right under Clovis.
I guess that is how you would. You know what? I kind of like that whole name.
Yeah.
I like.
So we've already done it once for the other one, so just do Edward.
I don't know. I kind of like Silvestri. I think we roll again if we don't typically care for. Oh, gee.
Yeah, it doesn't work out like that.
We're gonna do Edward.
Okay.
Just.
I mean, you could also just type UOARD. UO.
UO?
Yes. UOARD. Yes.
Is that how that was?
Yes.
Oh no, it's OU.
Oh, okay, sorry. My bad. There we go. Silvestre. Alright.
Who is a...
So, he is an enhanced human.
Enhanced human. Enhanced non-brew, so enhanced, yeah.
Yep. He was an alchemist by trade. So in our world, alchemists don't necessarily have to fight, but they are technically considered one of the fighting classes for us. These are so alchemists are going to be your equivalents to D&D of sorcerers, druids, all the high-level casters.
So if he's an alchemist by trade, though, I would say that he is more of the brewing end of this one, though.
Yes, because he's not an adventurer.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say that he was part of a race of specialized We're gonna take this one step further.
But we didn't do whatchamacallit.
What haven't we done?
The class, like where they are in society.
I think we can kind of utilize what we know to do that part of it. Like what we're making about them will kind of determine that one.
What are you trying to do?
For some reason I can't get it. Well, I can't get it at the top of the page. That's what's kind of annoying me.
It's fine.
Because why won't it let me?
Just page break?
That's fair.
No, you can't page break that one.
Yeah, I can. I can page break it.
There.
And we're gonna page break underneath that. Did you? Okay. Backstory time.
Please dismiss the thing instead of trying to. Okay.
Okay.
All right, what you got for So
I'm thinking that is Edward the name that he was given,
yes.
or is that the name he chose for himself?
Nope, we're gonna say that's the name he was given.
So Edward. That's how his name.
No R. There you go.
Edward was created, or Edward was created as a specialized group of Parfait
that
was innately. It's not how do you spell innate?
It's fine.
Innate. Innately.
Good at brewing potions.
Good at brewing the highest quality potions.
Yep. This means that basically, they would have the intended effect, plus most likely they would have good effects. Or if they were trying to make a harming potion, they would have more negative effects against the enemy.
And potentially bonuses to just rolls of being able to get the intended effect out of their potion. So we don't know yet how exactly our
well,
potion
okay.
brewing mechanics are gonna work.
Yeah, but so basically what I'm saying is whatever potion he brews, whatever the intended effect is going to be there. But they're also going to have
with additional effects.
Yes.
He was placed in a regiment. What area was his regiment in?
Okay.
Before the Dead Forest.
Well, why not just in the Dead Forest?
I'm gonna say he fled to the Dead Forest.
Well, he was placed in a regiment that was sent to scout through the Dead Forest.
Are we saying that he was a scout? Because he wasn't an adventurer. I was thinking that he was more at a lab somewhere.
Well, if he's going in a regiment, that means they're going out somewhere.
That's fair. That's fair. Those words are...
He was placed in a lab. In the...
The lake?
That is the... Yeah. In a lab, basically by a body of water.
Do we want to say it's a lab near where, Lori?
It's very possible. Let's do it.
Near a...
So we're gonna do...
What do we want to say this lake's name is?
So
let's go ahead and come up with that lake's name.
So here's what we're gonna do. He was placed in a lab, near a mountain where,
near
a Grawl mountain, fortress, basically.
Grawl mountain fortress.
That has a, split river near a cabin.
Split river near a cabin. Because now I'm thinking, whatever this lab is that him and these other parfait were at is where Lori was getting her potions from.
Very possible. Yep.
Yeah.
And you could even write her into his backstory.
I'm thinking...
Because dang it, NPCs need backstories too that intertwine with other NPCs.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that this band of human, that these humans, who found it, who were the ones that were warning the girl about Lori, were coming here to visit this,
you know what? That's what I'm thinking now too.
This lab, and that shortly after Lori was taken is whenever Cabal comes in.
I'm gonna, because so they wouldn't have warned her. They wouldn't have warned the Grawl about her until after. So hear me out. So this Nambu force, right, came here to this lab, right?
Because the lab was being attacked?
Because they had gathered news that Cabal was going to attack. So they were sent here to station as protection. But by the time they got here, the attack had already began on the lab. And therefore, they were in the midst of fighting when they were getting injured. Like, the Cabal forces were overwhelming them already. So the group of Nambu really didn't have a chance to ambush or anything, because they didn't realize how big of a force the Cabal army was. And so Lori would have seen it from where she was, right? Like the lab basically catching fire or something, and been like, ooh, I should go help. And ran down there to assist, which is why she brought them. And then helped them get better. They left, right? And they said, no, we can't let her just be there. That seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Right. And so they then came back later and told a group of Grawl. They basically found one of the other cave entrances, found the Grawl, told them what was going on and what they needed, and the Grawl then went to Lori's house.
Okay. I like this. I'm working with what we're doing. During the second war, despite calling for assistance.
Reinforcements?
Yeah, for reinforcements.
Yeah, there you go.
This help arrived too late.
Mm-hmm.
The lab
Character creation is fun, especially when you have like people to bounce
sieged.
idea. Yeah, I think it's SIE.
Sieged.
Yeah.
And many of the
Parfait.
I would say many and
because remember we care about the parfait, not the
yes,
non-brew.
all of the non-brew. All the non-brew who were guarding the facility were killed.
Okay.
However, Cabal's
Forces.
I would say one of his generals were there at this one. So, one of Cabal's generals, who was leading this assault.
Yep. Reasoned
with the
I would even say several of the parfait.
Yeah, reasoned.
Not all of them, because not all the parfait would want to.
Parfait working in the lab to turn against their non-brew. I was about to do human. Non-brew
counterparts.
Oppressors.
Yep.
And utilize the true strength that lied
within
them.
Yeah, there we go.
And what was his? He's missing a limb.
Yes.
That lies within them.
One.
I would say all of the parfait. All of the parfait. Or no one. So no one. Or okay.
So I would stop going general and I would kind of go back to Edward.
I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
This offer fell on deaf ears.
Yeah. Except for one that had lost and honestly,
I don't think he's lost his limb yet. I'll tell you in a second.
Go ahead. So is this during the war and then the lost limb will be post-war?
I'm thinking he loses his limb right here.
Okay, fair enough.
Fell on deaf ears for all except one.
Okay. Oh god. Hang on. Time out. Pause.
And this is, of course, very, off the cuff, like, brainstorming stuff.
Yeah.
That we'll go back and edit later. So some of this, the way it flows, is probably not going to be super good. But,
you know what?
We haven't edited. But this is definitely like a brainstorming.
That's what this is. This is getting the ideas down on paper instead of just talking about it, because we do a lot of talking about things, but
we need to write down more.
We very rarely write things down, unfortunately.
So this offer fell on deaf ears for all except one, Edward.
Parfait.
You know, the more I type it, the more I'll remember the spelling.
That exactly.
Who was particularly. Give me another flaw for him. What's another flaw he's got?
I got you.
He's
no.
You don't want to say he's
like that one.
gluttonous?
Particularly unlucky. He is very unlucky.
Who was particularly unlucky with some of his brews, upsetting the non-brew who ran the facility.
EX or EU.
Eduard.
Eduard.
Decided to turn
I
on
hope y'all
his...
enjoy creating backstories for characters, because it kind of makes the world feel real.
Yeah.
When everybody has something going on.
His fellow alchemists. And join this
group
this
of dark
general.
realms.
I was gonna say join this general because this general. However, the
price for the deal.
This is another however, and so however, the other parfait could not fight the programming placed by the non-brews, and thus saw this act of betrayal as one worthy of death.
Nice.
The fight that ensued.
Interesting.
The lab was
destroyed,
along with all the other parfait.
Edward, on the other hand, managed to escape with
only one major injury.
a missing arm.
Missing arm.
Yeah, arm.
He fled with the
Darkcom general.
The general's army as the backup non-brew force arrived.
Oh, you are killing me.
What? Am I misspelling all of them?
Everything except for one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then there's another one up there. And then there's another one up here. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Cursing his
name.
Cursing those who fought this battle. Cursing those backup forces.
Yeah.
with some of the... So do we want to... So we could do it like that. Or we could say that all of the parfait we're going to join. And the army that came in didn't like that. Killed the rest of the parfait. And,
So that's what I would do.
Yeah, I think we'll do this.
Because, remember, we gotta get Lori involved, right? I mean, right now, leave it.
No, I think we do that.
Okay.
So, okay. So, these parfait now without their
Rules.
non-brew.
No, you had it right.
Oh, that
EU.
was you? Okay. Now without their
You can still put non-brew.
non-brew.
EU.
Non-brew. They're non-brew. The non-brew that were there at the facility. They're non-brew watchers.
Guard?
Keepers. They're non-brew keepers.
There you go.
Keepers present decided to take this offer. But before
they could leave. There we go.
leave, the backup forces arrived.
To assist.
Seeing these turned parfait as a threat, as their usefulness had
been turned against them.
Yeah. Well, it had run out. Their usefulness had run out.
I guess, yeah.
Out. Fought them with full strength. All of the parfait perished.
And many of the...
Perished alongside...
Parfait.
Parfait. Okay.
TE, yes. And then can you also... And up there, right?
I'm sorry.
Down, there.
You know my pain now watching you type the last one.
I did not misspell that many words.
I know, but you're the one who found and came up with these words in the first place. So, no, I meant with grammarized.
Yes.
It's fine. All of the parfait perished alongside many of the dark home. That's
Dark home.
home. Or is it?
I think it's DARKOM.
H.
No H.
KOM.
Yes.
Okay, dark home. That does look better.
Dark home.
Dark home. Dark home.
It's dark
Troops.
com. Well, so did the
I think
non-brew people.
I don't
were
think a
injured.
lot of non-brew were injured because Lori came in.
Well, that's the thing is they were injured, and Lori was getting them out. That's why they found her hidden notebook.
Many of the Dark Home troops. The non-brew were spared a
large amount of casualties.
A large Yeah,
a large number of casualties.
Of casualties. Or thanks to reinforcements.
Huh?
Thanks to a
Well,
thanks to an unexpected
there we go.
reinforcement, the battle was extremely one-sided in favor of the Nombu.
Yes. There we go.
All the Parfait perished,
Uh-huh.
alongside many of the Dark Calm troops.
Yes.
Only the general and one Parfait survived. Did I spell it right?
Yes.
Edward, who managed to escape with only one
There we go.
minor injury, a missing arm.
I would just leave it at that.
As the as they were fleeing the massacre. How do you spell massacre?
Don't try to spell massacre. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get the autocorrect on that one. I was close. As they were fleeing the massacre, he cursed all Nombu involved in the conflict. Cursed all Nombu involved in the conflict.
I mean, you could just leave it at that.
I have something I want to add to that. He cursed all Nombu, promising his vengeance.
Uh-huh.
His vengeance. That's not how.
That was how you spelled
That was how,
vengeance.
yeah.
Due to his missing limb, he is unable to provide many potions now, so instead he spends most of his time putting his brewing skills into cooking.
See, I was going to say, with parts he had salvaged from that wreckage, the junk thing, he created a new arm for himself.
Okay, but why is he good at cooking?
As he ends up living alone in this forest, he had to get good at cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a fucking... Okay.
Well, because he was rescued by this general, but he is not part of their army.
Fair.
Because he was not the law. He's kind of neutral. He sometimes helps them, but he's not actually, like, part of an army. He's kind of like a free agent on the evil side.
Yeah.
With parts he salvaged from this.
Remember, we still got more to do.
I know. Oh, we're gonna go until, like, however many we can get done tonight. Basically.
I know. We got 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, we might just do one more. He salvaged from this attack. He forged a new arm for himself. Or maybe did he forge a new arm for himself, or did Cabal forge a new arm for him?
I think Cabal forged it for him.
Cabal forged a new arm for him. A new arm for him.
This arm flowed with materia that had been corrupted from Cabal.
Arm flowed with corrupted materia, and this is where
materia.
we can do the cooking thing on here. With the power to poison. I think he's good at He's good at cooking because he's good at poisoning. He can
Okay.
poison any, to poison. No, that's
with not power. With the proficiency.
potential
Yeah, with the potential
to
enhance.
I was gonna say the potential to taint the innate, like any food or potions that
Have a toxic trait to them.
I was gonna say he can turn good things into bad things.
Okay.
So like if somebody's using a healing potion around him, he can use his arm to
Turn it
turn
bad.
the effects
All right.
bad.
I'm down for that.
To
Potential to taint good effects.
To taint, yeah.
Or beneficial, yeah.
Beneficial effects of potions, potions and food.
Yes. Wow.
He spends his days in his. Do you think he has a hut in the forest, or do you think he lives in a cave in the dead forest? Like where?
Honestly, I think he just has like a tent that he
Stays in the dead forest.
We're gonna roll a d8 really quick. Do I have a d8?
I don't think we have one sitting out.
All right, we're gonna roll a d6. In terms of a d4 in this case. 1 and 2 is gonna be.
I was gonna say if you're doing a d4, just go 1 through 4, and then if you roll 5 or 6, just reroll.
Fair. 1 is north, 4 is west.
Reroll.
Of course. North. To the north of the lab. That way we know where this dead forest that he
The lab.
exists in.
Creating new foods and potions that could while creating new foods and potions while plotting his revenge.
Mhm.
So maybe it's
There
not
we go.
necessarily that this whole army, that this Nambru army that came in, was maybe it's not necessarily that they were asking about like getting these Gruul to take Lori as just about the secrets, but also that they know that everybody involved in this battle, including her, is a target for this Parfait who's out for revenge.
Yes.
And that because her whole thing is the AoE healing spells, that she would be the AoE healing potions, that it could be very dangerous if he gets his hands on her.
That's fair. Because he could make AoE damaging stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. So we're going to read you the story of Edward Silvestre.
Do you think Edward is his name still, or do you think he came up with a new name?
No, it's going to be Edward.
I think, because I think we could use Clover from the...
Clovis?
Or Clovis from the other one as what he calls himself now.
Okay. I'm down for that. It's still going to... I wanted to put slash.
There we go.
Okay. Here we go. Edward was created as a specialized group.
I was just making it where they can see a little bit
As a specialized group of Parfait that was innately good at brewing the highest quality potions with additional effects. He was placed in a lab near a Grawl Mountain fortress with a split river near a cabin. This lab was attacked by the forces of Cabal during the Second War. Despite calling for reinforcements, this help arrived too late. The lab was sieged and all the Nambu who were guarding the facility were killed. However, one of Cabal's generals, who was leading this assault, reasoned with the Parfait working in the lab to turn against their Nambu oppressors and utilize the true strength that lies within them. This being their more enhanced flow of materia, basically.
Yeah, the fact that even though that they are subservient to these Nambu, that they are in fact stronger than them.
Yep. These Parfait, now without their Nambu keepers present, decided to take this offer. But before they could leave, the backup forces arrived, seeing these turned Parfait as a threat, as their usefulness had run out, fought them with full strength. Thanks to an unexpected reinforcement, the battle was extremely one-sided in favor of the Nambu. All of the Parfait perished alongside many of the Darkom troops. Only the general and the Parfait survived, Edward, who managed to escape with only one major injury, a missing arm. As they were fleeing the massacre, he cursed all Nambu involved in the conflict, promising his vengeance. With parts he salvaged from this attack, Cabal forged a new arm for him. This arm flowed with corrupted materia, with the potential to taint beneficial effects of potions and food. He spends his days in the dead forest to the north of the lab, creating new foods and potions while plotting his revenge.
So,
bum, bum, bum.
I see a potential quest line forming here.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And rather than us just rolling a random race for the next guy, I think we need to create one more person involved in this.
Nah.
No. I think we should create either this general, one of these Nambu involved, or one of the Gruul.
The problem is, I don't have any of the generals.
Do we want to make...
I don't even know what their races are yet, because their races are not going to be normal races. These are going to be, like, actual, like, orcs and ghouls and goblins and things like that. I don't have those yet, so...
Even though we don't have those yet, can we make one right now?
No. No, that will take way too much time. Because I don't even know what language they're going to be yet. So, no.
Or could this general be one that is not... All the other ones are these monstrous races, but there's one who was a Nambu or some other race that was corrupted to be a general, and who's the one that reasons with a lot of... that tries to draw in... That's more the charismatic figure that's trying to bring in turncoats. Because they had to be able to communicate with these Parfait in order to...
Yeah.
In order to try to convince them.
I really don't want to make one yet. Because I literally have no idea anything about any of these generals yet.
That's why we gotta make them eventually, so...
I'm aware of that, but let me at least make the races that they could be.
Okay. Well, we'll keep in mind whatever the role is, but I think we should make somebody else involved in this conflict.
Yes, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put...
So is this gonna be
It's gonna be a Nambu.
This is gonna be another Nambu. So is this gonna be one of the Nambu that actually found this journal? Or is this gonna be another Nambu around? Do we still want to roll for the other things for this Nambu?
You know what? With that, actually, let's go ahead and roll. Because not all, so the Nambu reinforcements that came, they weren't all necessarily Nambu.
That's fair.
So...
Oh, this is a Parfait is what I rolled.
Alright. This is going to be interesting.
So is this a Parfait who was with the Nambu force? Or
We're
maybe
gonna find out.
A Parfait who was pretending to be a Nambu?
Yep. We're going to find out. Wow. What do we got?
Alchemist. Ooh!
Wow, okay.
Is this one that survived? Who survived the massacre?
Little did you know. Things just got a plot twist.
Plot twist.
All right, let's do class really quick for me.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
Barbarian.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. Barbarian. And honestly, this makes a lot of sense because
Angry
fighter.
Angry.
There we go.
Man, this just got interesting.
All right, general mood. Let's see what we got here.
So, are they aligned with the Nombre after this, or are they?
We're about to find out.
Are they somebody else who survived without Edward knowing? Lawful neutral.
Oh. Okay, this is gonna be fun. All right. This is gonna be great, guys.
They're not necessarily aligned with the forces of good or evil, but they're following a code of some sort.
They have treasure, right? Is that what that one is?
That's treasure, yeah. Let me make sure. Gold. No, that's gold.
That's gold?
We can do that as a material.
Alright. Sure.
Gold, so instead of gold as in like money, we can do gold as in material.
Alright. Hit me with that location though.
Material.
This is gonna be fun, guys.
The
and
mountain.
they're in the mountains? Oh, this is just too perfect.
Sometimes the dice just kind of...
By the way, in case you're wondering, there, it's mountains, see?
Sometimes the dice just kind of like tell their own story.
So by next Saturday, we will have a second camera up. It may
Looking down at the dice.
Right, it's just gonna be up here on my desk somewhere so that you guys, so that we can like have it so that you guys can see the dice. So that way, like when we hold it up, we're not like, oh, they moved it. We didn't. I promise.
Okay, let's see what their flaw is.
Their flaw. Hit me with their flaw and their strength.
And you can start off next with rolling, so that way we can.
What is that one?
What is that one? Works. Sickly. Their flaw is that they're sickly.
They're sickly.
I wonder why they're sickly.
What is their strength? No.
I don't know how that one was missing a limit. I don't know how we can turn that one into a strength. We might be able to, but right now we're not gonna use it.
Okay. What
repeats himself.
Okay.
Repeats himself. How would repeats himself be a strength? So
we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Is there anything else we need to roll?
No, that's it.
Okay.
So we're gonna do a page break here, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do.
Wait, we can just do Control Enter.
Let me format this real quick.
And we're gonna do center, bold, right?
This is in the middle of the page, and that's that was in the middle of the page, and this is going to bug me. That, and then I'm gonna go 16. Okay, but we gotta roll. Okay, we gotta roll. See if they're a guy or girl.
Guy or girl. Evens or girls?
This is a guy.
He's a dude. Okay. All right. Hit me with that D6 though. Sorry, went to the wrong page. French names. All right. And the fact that we've gotten all French names so far, kind of irritating, but it makes sense. So
it makes sense.
Again, Nombre means the mini, so it actually makes sense that we keep getting Nombre.
Okay, we don't keep getting Nombre. We keep getting Parfait.
We keep getting Parfait, which you
didn't know a whole lot about Parfait. So now you're learning more about them.
I still don't know a whole lot about
Well, we're learning more about them.
Yeah.
6.
6? Oh, man. All right. You know what? We're going to do this while we have the chance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. No.
See. You don't want Gaston?
Hi, we should use Edouard.
No. Patrick. Let's see.
What are you doing? What?
Oh, you can save them down there in the.
Okay.
Y'all can't see it on there because it's a little bit out of the range. Yeah.
Wow, you still can't see it anyway.
Yeah, because I cut off the side with the cropping.
Oh, that's fair. Okay. I like Gerard.
Gerard?
Yeah.
Gerard, the barbarian.
Are you okay with Gerard?
I'm You okay with Gerard? Do we want to use any of these last names, or?
Well, let me write his first name down really quick. We got Gerard.
I don't know. I'm thinking.
And then hit me with a dice.
Geralt is what I was thinking. Whenever I was.
Funny.
6 again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, here we go.
Noir. That's the first one. I like Noir. Or Gilbert.
I'm okay with Gilbert. You want to go Gilbert? We can go
Or
Gilbert.
Cordial.
So I was thinking
Kaplan.
this one or Kaplan.
I like Noir.
Noir.
It's a
All right.
barbarian guy.
Gerard Noir.
Gerard Noir.
Oh god. All right.
He repeats himself. Gerard Noir.
All right. So this is gonna be fun. All right. Hang on.
Okay.
So
You got some ideas already in place?
Gerard is going to be a very helpful assistant to Lori. Because he was absolutely destroyed in the massacre of the Parfait. And his programming is still there, so he still wants to
Help.
He still wants to take orders from the Nombru. But he's pretty neutral to the Nombru in general because they did murder him. So while he is not too happy with most of the Nombru, Lori
was
found
able
him
to...
and was able to kind of patch him back together. Or she took him, or the Grawl patched him back together.
I'm thinking Lori. Lori's our medic. Lori patched him back together and learned some of his secrets of this lab, and maybe that's something that the Nombru were afraid of.
Yeah, there we go.
Getting out.
All right.
Okay, just because they're good doesn't, like, on the forces of good versus the war doesn't necessarily mean they're all good guys, which is why I have a problem with the whole good versus evil alignment thing using it in the system. Because the Nombru, with what they're doing to the Parfait, that is definitely like some bad stuff. That it is definitely an oppressed race.
All right, here we go. All right. What's his name? Gerard?
Gerard.
Okay. Gerard was...
Gerard was murdered. Period. Yep.
Was murdered by a small reinforcement regiment that was sent to a lab near the base of a mountain.
Type that again. Like, copy paste that. He repeats himself.
No.
I think he repeats himself sometimes.
But not in the backstory.
I think he repeats himself sometimes because, he's still getting reworked, but that sounds like a flaw. How can we make that into a strength?
We're gonna figure it out.
I'm thinking, so, repeats himself often. Maybe he...
So, I'm thinking it's not even speaking repeats himself, right? Because remember, he was also a lab technician, right? He was an alchemist. So, he repeats himself in that when the Grawl helped remake him with Lori, right? They gave him some unique metal, right? That doesn't quite work with his system, basically. And is therefore he forgets that he just did something, so he will do it again. So
he can attack twice and stuff like that because...
Right. So whereas if he attacks twice, right, like he normally has 2 attacks, right? He will instead attack 4 times. Or if he brews a potion, right, he will brew a potion and then forget that he just made it, even though he'll have it, hand it off to Lori. Laurie will turn it away from him, and the second it goes away, his brain will basically reset and say, you need to make this potion that Laurie just asked you to make.
Is he a cyborg?
Well, I don't know. Probably not. But
Well, because whenever they remade him, did they make him with this metal, and he became more of a cyborg in nature?
yeah, I mean, well, we keep talking about programming.
Okay, programming, the way that because we had determined last week that the Parfait are super soldiers, but they're more like homunculi, where they're not actually...
They were bred.
Basically that they are living things. They're not mechanical in nature.
Correct.
So, yeah, I would say I think he's a cyborg. I think this guy, he's gold because he's a cyborg, and it's his cyborg
true.
nature.
Okay. Fading into the darkness.
Entome the darkness.
Oh, dang it. Into the darkness. A kind Nambu gathered his pieces. His scattered pieces and retreated back to the mountains as the fight was reaching its end. There we go. And
I think
yes.
I think he wasn't scattered into pieces. I think he was just deathly injured. Because I think she was able to revive him before going to the Grawl. And that's how she started learning some of the secrets from him. But then whenever they got to the Grawl is whenever he got all the mechanical enhancements.
So I'm thinking just like 2 or 3 body parts
Oh, that's
gone.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like in a million pieces.
Okay.
No. Just like
He's missing an arm.
not
missing
not
a leg.
completely put together.
Yeah.
So that, you know, because remember, he's sickly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be the metal that's causing his sickness, but also his strength. So his gold is going to be his strength. It is going to mess with him so that he often forgets due to, like, metal poisoning, basically. But it's going to be his strength because it allows him, like, he basically gets double the stuff.
So, because we've already established that the Parfait and this little chain, that the Parfait are and have this like materia enhanced in them. So maybe that materia within him is interacting with the metal, and thus it's that bouncing off of it. That's what's causing it.
Probably a few nights later. After getting him into a stable condition, a group of
Here's my thoughts on
Yes.
this part, because we want to say that the other Nambu saw that there was a threat there, that she was getting information from him.
Okay.
Like, they found her notebook, and they were afraid that maybe she left her notebook behind, where, like, there was a camp away from her house.
Or she just dropped it in the lab.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, like, that there was... Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. She just dropped it in the lab.
But then took him back there because she could heal him better at her house.
Yeah.
And thus, whenever they saw that and realized that she had somebody there that she could get a lot of secrets from and didn't know where her alignment lied, they had the girl,
And that's the thing is, so I'm not telling people every single step that happened with these backstories.
Yeah.
Because nobody needs to know all the little details like that.
Well, I'm just figuring that out because then, like, that could play into a bigger part. Like we could add from that to be something else.
A group of Grawl, interrupted.
Yeah, you can.
Wow, wait, hang on. Interrupted.
Yeah.
Her process with promises of tales.
Process of tales.
With her process with promises of.
So I think in this one, you don't have to repeat that. You can just say interrupted this process. And because it's not, the whole story thing isn't important to his backstory, it's important. Yeah. Interrupted her process interrupted them. Period. Next thing they knew, they were following them back to the mountain.
Yeah. However, her agreement to travel with them to their fortress.
Can you put the next thing they knew, they were following them into their mountain fortress there, so that way we see like the chronology of that.
What?
Well,
that's what I'm.
Before you put however there, because however is saying that there was this that was happening. However, this is an element of that versus like having a however where there is no like change in an element of it, if that makes sense.
Okay. But the problem is saying the next thing they knew they were traveling to the fortress doesn't make sense.
Okay.
If then with her agreement to travel to the fortress.
She Gerard that they would be following the Grawl back to their home, back to their mountain, for reasons of which Gerard could not understand.
Okay.
However,
we're going to travel. Well, see, but in that case, we don't need to put this.
Yeah.
Because basically what I was going to say was, however, her agreement to going back to the fortress with them was that they would assist in getting Gerard back, like, in a more physical condition.
Could not understand at the time. It wasn't until they arrived at the Great Mountain Forge that this
reason would be known.
That wasn't until they arrived at the Great Mountain Forge. Wasn't. Became clear. Okay, so the secrets of the Grawl that they promised her was to showcase their metallurgy and forging skills.
Fair. The Grawl use their metallurgic capabilities to further enhance the missing pieces of Gerard. There we go. These enhancements came with several
You're saying consequences or benefits?
With several
Drawbacks. Boons, buffs.
What are they all called as a collective?
With several features.
Thank you. Features. The first being that due to the very nature of Gerard's lawful, very
Nature of Gerard's
lawful.
Here, I'm gonna give you this to give you apostrophe. Gerard's lawful nature, or the very nature of Gerard's lawful programming. I would say programming.
To the very lawful nature of Gerard. There we go. We'll just do it that way. Due to the very lawful nature of Gerard, these enhanced features
Well, okay, what exactly is enhanced about him?
hang on.
Other than the fact that he repeats stuff. Traits? These enhanced traits?
These first being that due to the very lawful nature of Gerard, these the traits of the metal caused a memory
A memory relapse.
Gap. Memory short circuit.
Yeah.
That
Memory repeater.
that causes Gerard to forget something that he has recently completed and will
Do the action twice.
do the action again. Before his memory
Resets.
Or
Or
his memory locks it
in place. Yeah.
There we go. The second point, however, was much more of a worry as the metal was causing Gerard to become sickly on a frequent basis.
Remember, he's an angry fighter.
Yes. Gerard, having been...
It's weird. I can picture these characters in my mind now.
Right? Having been one of the alchemists from the lab,
Do we think that so Gerard has this programming in his mind
mhm.
that he has to follow the Nombrew, and Lori, that's her name, right?
Lori, yeah.
Lori is the only Nombrew
That he
here
actually
now.
likes now.
Do you think Gerard has this, like, is almost in love with her?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, how do you think she reciprocates that?
I have zero idea.
I think that
honestly, I think she likes him.
So you think that they are in a relationship with each other?
No. I think he thinks they're in a relationship with each other. I think she feels like he's a sad little puppy dog that she needs to take care of.
Oh. No, Gerard.
One of the operatives from the lab. He still maintains a high brewing capacity.
So,
however, while he spent time with the Grawl, they taught him and forged him a great axe that would allow him to put elemental style potions into the handle, up to 3 of them, that could trigger after striking an enemy, causing increased wounds.
So, okay. So, Gerard knows that, with Edward, or Clovis now, swore vengeance against all of the non-brew. But I don't think Edward would be against the Parfait, because he sees them as his brothers. So, but he knows that Lori is not safe because of Edward. So, I'm thinking that Gerard's main purpose now is to protect Lori from Clovis.
Caused him harm, but
now this is a very interesting thing too, though, if you consider. So we're making these NPCs. What if somebody decides to play one of these NPCs? Would you let somebody play one of? Because it'd be very interesting.
What do you mean?
If somebody wanted to play Gerard.
Why would somebody want to play Gerard?
Maybe they think he's interesting.
No, they're an NPC.
like I don't know.
No, you guys can make your own characters. Dang it! What?
Or maybe has backstory relating to this, so that would be better. So, because for all we know, one of the PCs could be a someone who fought in this non-brew army too during this attack.
It's very possible.
Or know somebody who
turned on them. Therefore, now believes that his main reason for...
Was Edward the head alchemist, or was Gerard the head alchemist? Because...
Nope, it was Edward.
Because Edward was very unlucky.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, that's true.
I almost would think that the reason why Lori and the non-brew saved Gerard. I thought it was 2 eyes.
Naive?
Yeah. Why Lori and the non-brew decided to save Gerard was because he was the head alchemist there.
That's fair. Well, the non-brew didn't. No, Lori took Gerard during combat The Nambu didn't. The Nambu probably saw her, but they were busy fighting.
That's fair.
So they couldn't go after her, and they don't know where her house is.
That's fair. But they saw her journal.
They saw her journal.
So they told these girl to go find her.
They said, yo, she's got secrets. We need her gone.
Yeah. Do you think the Nambu actually ordered a hit on her, and the Gruul are too nice for that, so they're like, come live with us instead? I think
it's very possible.
That's a Snow White backstory.
Yep.
That's Snow
therefore
White.
He now believes that his main reason for his current existence is for protecting Lori from Edward and the forces of Cabal. Alright, there we go. For protecting is
to
protect Lori. And then this
However,
needs to be capital.
So let's say
But he realizes.
So I think
I love that the thing knows. Alright, look, you misspelled Grawl, man. Doesn't quite know what I misspelled Grawl with, but alright. I think that is a good backstory for him to start.
Gerard was murdered by a small reinforcement regiment that was sent to a lab near the base of a mountain. As he was fading into the darkness, a kind Nambu gathered his scattered pieces and retreated back to the mountains as the fight was reaching its end. It was at this point that he knew he found love. While she was attempting to help him recover a few nights later, after getting him into a stable condition, a group of Grawl I said condition.
You said position.
Oh, I meant condition.
It's fine.
Interrupted them. She told Gerard that they would be following the Grawl back to the mountain, which, for reasons of which Gerard could not understand at the time, but followed happily because Lori said it.
Because Lori said so.
But when they arrived at the Great Mountain Forest, it became clear. The Grawl used their metallurgic...
By the way, that is an actual word, by the way.
Yeah.
Metallurgic. I love it.
Only in capital form, apparently.
Yeah, because so metallurgic is like the act of doing metallurgy. It's like the actual... Yeah.
Used their metallurgic capabilities to further enhance the missing pieces of Gerard. These enhancements came with several features. First being that due to the very lawful nature of Gerard, the traits of the metal caused a memory short circuit that causes Gerard to forget something that he has recently completed and will do the action again before his memory locks it in place.
How to make him repeat himself in a beneficial way.
The second trait, however, was much more of a worry as the metal was causing metal.
Yes, that one.
Lowercase there. Was...
I put random capitalizations into everything just based on where I think it belongs.
The metal was causing Gerard to become sickly on a frequent basis. Gerard, having been one of the alchemists from the lab, still maintains a high brewing capacity. However, while he spent time with the Grawl, they taught and forged him a great axe that would allow him to put elemental style potions into the handle, up to 3 of them, that could trigger after striking an enemy, causing increased wounds. Gerard is fueled by his anger that the Nambu caused him harm, but he realizes that the naive alchemist, Edward,
that the Nambu,
was the reason the Nambu turned on them.
Hang on, wait. Gerard is fueled by his anger, that, at the harm the Nambu caused him. There we go. Okay, better.
But he realizes the naive alchemist Edward was the reason the Nambru turned on them. Therefore, he now believes that his main reason for existence is to protect Lori from Edward and the forces of Cabal. And, however, the Nambru are still after these guys. And so if the Nambru found out that they're out there, they would also be after them. So thus they are neutral to both parties.
Can you fix the grammar things that it's yelling at me for?
Yeah. So we got a little side quest going on here.
No kidding. This was not supposed to be a side quest creation, but it's pretty much a side quest creation.
This could be really interesting because whenever we're making the maps of the areas, we can have all these people on there. So if other people, you viewers, or anyone else who finds the books for this, wants to use these characters in their campaign, they can.
Yep.
In this whole story.
The only thing that we're gonna do for the rest of this, the last little bit right here, we have 1, 2, 3. So, we're gonna roll 3 races.
I was going to say, if we left it there, maybe what we could do each week is create 3 or 4 characters and tie them all to a single quest together.
That's gonna be a really big quest.
Well, no, like, this is a quest right here. So this is its own separate thing. So next week, we do the same thing with 3 or 4 new characters that we roll.
Oh, I say we just roll the races right now. That way we have one less thing to do.
Oh, but we might, as we're making them, decide that we kind of want to choose for this one instead of rolling for them or something. Because, like, leave that for the next week so we explore it as we're doing it. Because getting Parfait... Yeah, but getting Parfait twice here after we'd already come up with that whole story was very cool. So that's why
we still rolled for it.
Yeah, but we rolled for it after knowing that. So the fact that we got that on the roll was like, oh, we got fair. That. So I would say almost wait to actually build those characters.
Oh, that was fun.
That was fun.
That was enjoyable.
I would like to expand upon this one a little bit further because the next thing that we could do is, like, for example, we got our weather dice. What weather was it during this attack?
No.
It was sunny.
That does not add anything to this.
Well, we like building these locations and stuff too.
We'll worry about that later. That's a whole separate thing that we're doing.
Expanding upon this quest in this area, because there's so many other people. Like instead of just
Oh, that was like one specific day. I feel like that specific of a detail is gonna be something that when it's happening, I'm gonna be like, oh, it was a sunny day.
You also rolled sunny.
I actually legit rolled sunny day.
But
so I think that's like more of a GM rolls at the current time to determine the weather of what that situation was in.
Yeah, but basically,
it's not a backstory element.
Well, it's a backstory element if it was like a thunderstorm during it, and thus there was like a different element added to it. Yeah. Sunny's kind of like that or the partly cloudy side of it. What one's that?
I have no idea.
Well, it's foggy.
Is that foggy? Heat wave. Oh god. All right.
So a heat wave during the mountain is a different element. But
partly cloudy. Sunny.
But I think we could expand upon this one even further too, and potentially if we get one in the future, we could add to so we got to figure out who these Grawl were that were involved in there, as well as as well as who this force is, and potentially next week if we get Nambru that have their own side quests, they could also be linked to this. But
sure, now we get Resastor.
I'm thinking.
Ooh, Elvish.
I'm thinking I'm thinking that that's what we should do though. Is these characters that we're rolling up every like. This should be our format for the next
I'm okay
at
with
least
that.
few weeks.
We're gonna do character creation for the next.
We're gonna do side quest creation basically.
God.
We're gonna create 3 characters, tie them through random dice rolls, and tie them together into a single plot line.
Yeah.
Like the lab disaster.
I just love that was a thing. That it just so happened that every time we did this, it just you could do this.
The dice were giving us it.
Now, hold on though. The crazy thing is, so this happened, we talked about this, non-Bruce soldiers, like nowhere in her story, right?
Does it mention a lab?
Does it mention a lab or parfait?
Uh-huh.
But then we got this dude, and we were like, well, alright, so where is this at? Dead forest, right, okay. But then we rolled some other things and it said, oh, over by the mountain. Oh, well, okay. So
we said over by the lake.
Yeah, over by the lake. Which technically we could have completely not tied any of these guys together, but
But it's more fun if you do.
yeah, and then we got this dude and we said, alright, well,
where are you at? The mountain.
he's gonna be the other guy, he's in the mountain, and okay, well, might as well do this.
That was a big plot twist because I don't think Edward believes that any of the parfait survived. So
right, that's why we're not changing his backstory, because he firmly believes that all of them are dead. And that's why honestly I'm tempted
you don't have to change any of their backstory.
We have to change hers because she was helping wounded soldiers.
She was helping wounded soldiers.
Wait, hold on. These girls were used by trees, Zvergan, small battalion. Technically, did I?
You didn't do anything in here that you have to change, I don't think.
Yeah, right here. So, a well-hidden notebook.
They could have found a well-hidden notebook as well as her,
well, they wouldn't have found a well-hidden notebook if she dropped it at the lab. Because she doesn't hide her notebook at the lab.
Boom.
Nailed it.
That's
okay.
the only thing we gotta change.
With the information she had written in that note, they worried. Yeah, so we've now got this right here is a story in and of itself, which is honestly super cool.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about world building and story crafting.
So
is how it pieces together. But yeah, there's so many things for this one, especially that we could like add to
is this
and
the
work on.
Show document outline?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the document outline's a little off of the
that's okay.
Off the stream, so but yeah, so
that was fun.
I think this is what we should do. I think this is what we should do for our format for a little while.
I'm down for that.
3 characters and then creating a storyline with them.
Yeah, we need to see.
We need to see if we can get somebody else involved with it. Is that what you're gonna say? That we should see if there's any guests who are willing to help us with it.
Sure.
What were you gonna say though?
No, yeah, that works. That was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed that, honestly. So I know there was a lot of silence on this.
However, if we do get more people watching and participating, there will not be as much silence.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we just kind of have to bounce off
of each other
ideas
right
off
now.
of each other. But yeah, if anybody gets ideas that they see and as we're typing, and y'all can literally just message me on the Facebook page, or on Twitter, Instagram, any of that stuff. Comment on freaking YouTube videos. I don't really care. One of the things.
Any way that you can show us, like,
because
what your ideas are.
Because I will read it all. If you want to draw any of these characters, feel free to draw any of them. So I think that would be fun too.
Oh, I'd like to see. I'd like to see them. I want to see Lori, the Snow White looking.
Right.
The Snow White looking person, and
with
then,
a shotgun.
And then the thing is too, both Clovis and
Gerard
were missing arms, but while Clovis's arm is gonna be this like junk pieces that were forged with like that were enhanced by this like evil energy. Gerard's one is going to be
this
gold metal that is flowing with the power of alchemy.
Yeah.
So like just their whole, and that's the thing too, that we technically I wouldn't say that the Parfait are clones of each other either, because
no, they're not.
But we're Edward and
it just so happened that we got two alchemist freaking parfaits back to back.
Were they like brothers in a way? Were they really close to each other? Did they not like each other? That's more stuff.
Well, considering he thinks he's naive.
He's naive, but you can think somebody's naive and still be on good terms with them.
That's desert.
Yeah. So like,
God, it really likes these
really
guys.
They really liked them, yeah. But like, I don't know. There's potential there. Yeah. We'll come back to this one too. We might get a guest on to help us with this one too in the future. Like, add more to it if we wanted to.
So I don't know if we're gonna come back to it.
We won't come back to it right away, but
because I would like to continue building more characters.
Yeah, but to be fair though, if we do get any comments about this at a certain point during like a future stream, if someone has an idea about this, we can bounce back to it and add stuff.
Exactly.
Like if somebody comes up with another character who could be involved with it.
But yeah, feel free to message, post, whatever. Get it to me one way or another. I even have an email. I don't remember what it is, but it's like mutagenesis or something.
Yeah, well, the social links on screen are the best.
Yeah.
Best way to...
The social links. And if you just message me on there, I will bring it up in the next stream. I will be a person that reads all of them. Because I like to get feedback and I like to know what's going on with everybody and how that all worked out for you. Alright? So, do you have any other things to say?
No, I'm excited for this format. We'll definitely get another camera. Like, we have another camera. We'll set up the other camera for, seeing the dice rolls. So you can see that along with us.
Yeah.
And now that we kind of get a sense of how we're gonna be formatting this world building too, like this part of world building, we'll probably do other aspects of world building, but as far as this sense, our whole like overlay could also change.
Yep.
So
all I know is I'm still this was fun.
Yeah. You're still in awe about how it all.
Yeah. There's not a better way to say that. It was enjoyable. Again, like I said, we will get better at kind of talking to y'all as we do this. That way we can kind of keep the conversation going with y'all as well.
And if you talk back, that is how that'll keep going.
Oh wait, there's no... The thing isn't down here.
What thing?
The question of the day. So how are they supposed to answer the question of the day?
Oh, the question of the day was on there whenever... I can make the question of the day come up. Badoo.
Okay.
Badoo.
That's what we should have had. Yeah, so...
What's your favorite character backstory that you've seen? We should talk about our answers to that, too. What's your favorite character backstory as a quick final thought?
Okay, so unfortunately my favorite character backstory is probably going to be the character that nobody is allowed to know what his backstory is yet until tomorrow. So next week I will be able to answer
his
that
next
question.
D&D character. We'll have this as a question next week.
We're going to have the same question as next week, too.
Let's answer this question next week.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah. Anything else for you?
No, that's it for me.
No? Alright. That's it for me. I hope everybody enjoyed the stream, and we look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday.
On Wednesday with probably Brawlhalla.
Probably Brawlhalla. Yeah.
Probably Brawlhalla.
So, go team.
Good night.
Alright, bye everybody.